Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Road Trip Flip with the Road Trip Flip. Marvin, how's it going, Marvin?
It's going well. Thank you. Thanks
for
having me.
We're here again, and today's topic is a little bit different because it's called Rob O's Tundra. Yep. And you think, okay, Tundra, like there's, I don't know how many millions of Tundras on the road now. What makes this one different? What makes the road trip different? What makes this truck different? So I want to talk about that today and kind of figure out, like, you know, some things can be assumed to be sort of textbook in this type of space where it's like, oh, okay, the guy goes on a road trip, buys the thing, comes back, and then sells it or whatever. But like, there's uniqueness to every story. So I want to know what was so different about this one.
Okay, so this one, so if you look at the tripod of the three legs of a tripod that all of these are based on, it's people, places, and vehicles. Well, yes, this is based on those three things, but the vehicle, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it for myself. Robert O, R.O., Robert, he has a bunch of different names. Robert O calls me and asks me, hey, can you find a truck for me down there in Southern California? I'll buy it. Bring it up to me. So that's what was different, was I wasn't buying it for myself, but it was an epic trip. Saw a bunch of people.
So why does he? What's the unique part about wanting a Southern California truck? Is there something special there that people who don't understand automotive they care about? Like I understand like why you don't want a Midwest vehicle from Michigan, right, or maybe one from the saltwater areas of the South.
Right.
What's so special about a California truck?
Okay, so I should have mentioned Robert O moved from Southern California. He's in Montana.
Oh, okay.
This was such a great trip because Montana is, as everybody knows, it's beautiful.
Right.
And they put salt on their roads or whatever they use. It's corrosive.
One might say it's also a Tundra. No? Okay. That too much?
No, it's a little...
in the winter.
Parts of it, yes. But yeah, it's mountainous. Very mountainous. But yeah, that was the different part was I'm delivering a vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it for myself. I'm not selling it for profit, nothing. I'm just delivery driver at this point.
But what's your connection to Robert? What's your...
So good question, because there's a few things that tie me to Rob. And first and foremost, I lived up in Irvine, Orange County, for many years before I joined the Navy. And I lived with Carl and Matt Larson. And Carl went to high school with Robert O. Robert O, he was a competitive swimmer, cyclist, all-around great athlete, but he was a body surfer. Mm-hmm. And we all body surfed at this place called The Wedge in Newport Beach. And this was at a time in my life, all of our lives, that it was a simpler time in life. We didn't have a care in the world. Yeah. All we did was surf. We didn't eat. And if we did eat, those guys were drinking their dinner, and I ate whatever I wanted.
Right.
But it was such an interesting time of life. You'll see some of the pictures. Mel Thurman, the unofficial mayor of the Wedge.
I love that. Unofficial mayor.
Yeah, he had a tanning tournament. And you'll see in some of these pictures, it was like in 1987 or so, he had a tanning tournament, and he had, based on all of us, he had like 40 trophies.
Wait, hold on. What is a tanning tournament?
He had a tanning tournament on the beach where there were different categories. I actually won most tropical.
Come on.
No. Yeah, and I'm not gonna include the picture of me in a Speedo, by the way.
I might find it.
No, you won't.
Okay. Oh, well, all right. Well,
all the guys wore Speedos. All the girls were in the bikinis of the day in the 80s. You'll see them.
I just never heard of a tanning tournament.
Yes.
Like,
and it was just for fun. And some of the older guys were the judges. It was pretty fun, and it was pretty funny. And then we had an awards ceremony at a local Elks Lodge. Yeah.
And this guy's just amassed like 40 or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And pretty much everybody that got into the contest won something.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
It was fun. Yeah. So Robert O, also, we did a lot of things outside of that. There's a picture of me, my sister, my brother, Robert O, and Ben Kaufman. We went to a Ramones concert when Robert O had hair.
I know what that's like. Yeah, back in the day when hair was a thing.
Yep. But yeah, it was a fun time of life, and that was before I had to, grow up and go get a real job called the Navy. So, but the truck, that was the basis of why I was going to see Rob. Other than he's one of my oldest friends, he's like a brother to me, And so I would go to the furthest reaches of the country to deliver a truck for him. As it is, I mean, he flew me home, and I did bring my son with me. So it was a great trip. Yeah.
So tell me about the truck itself. So, you know, he charged you with finding a truck and then buying the truck. So what were the parameters of the sale? Like, did it have to be a certain year? Like, I'm thinking, like, I go on Auto Trader and I look at specific years because I know something about that car that's unique or that makes it good. Yeah. So did he give you a criteria list?
He did the same thing too, similar to all of us that are gearheads. He knew what he wanted. He wanted an early 2000s Tundra V8, low mileage, obviously no rust, 4-wheel drive, 4 doors, with all the bells and whistles. And he actually found a few that were in Orange County and San Diego, and I did go look at a few for him. So, but yeah, he by the time we had looked at 2 or 3 of them, he nailed it down to one up in, I think it was in Lake Forest up in Orange County. Just so happened, the seller was Filipino, and Robert had we had talked back and forth, sent videos, pictures, and everything, and Robert had already negotiated a price.
Oh, wow.
Until I got there.
Oh, okay.
And I found more stuff. I mean, it's not like I'm digging, but you know how car dealers are, or auto repair shops. You go there, and they'll find something else. Well, I did. I did find some other stuff that needed attention, and I didn't mean to, but I hit the guy with lower than what Robert and the seller had agreed on. And the guy, by the time we were all done, the guy was pissed, but he was funny because we're both Filipinos, and we created a bond, if you will. And he says, damn you, okay. Just take it. Because
it sounds like he kind of also knew, and then once you just show that you know too, he's like, okay, well, shoot, now we both know.
Yeah. So, and, if you don't ask, you don't get. And
that's true.
So, I got Rob a little bit more of a discount, and the guy was really cool about it, but I did it to see if I could get away with it. And I wasn't trying to reach into the guy's pocket, but I mean, we did. It was stuff kind of like real estate. If you don't disclose stuff, then it could come back to hurt you as a seller.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't trying to, hit the guy really hard.
Yeah, but you're also doing this on behalf of your friend, and so you're like, I want to make sure this is a good deal for him because, like you said, you're lifelong friends. I'd go to the end of the earth for whatever he needs. So that already kind of like is the foundational groundwork for like this has to be a good deal because you're accepting accountability and some responsibility for that as well. Yeah. That's what great friends do, by the way.
Well, hey, and I got a lot out of it too. It helped me practice what I do. Not that I'm in it for business to make a living off of this. I'm just trying to earn my vacation.
Sure. Well, and you're passionate about it. You're passionate about the people you get to see along the way, and you intentionally go out of your way in some cases to make sure you pit stop with people either to or back from that destination.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people on this trip.
So, okay, so you go from like Lake Elsinore or somewhere around there?
No, I started in San Diego because I went Lake Forest in Orange County, brought it home.
Oh, Lake Forest. I said Lake Elsinore, I think. Sorry.
Lake Forest, up in Orange County. Yeah. And then I brought it home, left the next day.
Okay.
But I had to fix one of the fuses. I had to replace the fuse because I needed to be able to plug in my little thing that helps me get my Bluetooth connected to my phone.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
It's important.
Hey, I'm about to hit the road. I need this thing to work.
Yeah. So I started in Chula Vista, and then let's see. So we went from Las Vegas to Zion National Park, Salt Lake City, Brigham City, Idaho Falls, Kalispell, and before Kalispell we went to Butte, Montana, and then Whitefish, and actually Robert O was in Kalispell at the time. So, but yeah, a bunch of series of stops, and I might have mentioned I brought my son with me.
Right,
we brought skateboards.
Oh, cool!
So we went to skate parks along the way.
I was gonna say, like, what did you do at all these places? Because I mean, I know all these places you're mentioning. I've been to a couple of them. Like I've been to Zion, I've been to Salt Lake City, I've been to Las Vegas, of course, but I don't know what you do when you go there. What do you do?
Well, no, so it was summer and it was hot. So Vegas and Zion National Park, we didn't bother with skate parks in those areas.
Right.
After that, we did.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City, Idaho Falls, all those places. Yeah, it was summertime. Normally, if it wasn't summer and I brought my son with me, I would have given him a geography assignment because I've done that on road trips with him. Made him answer a 20-question questionnaire and give me a report on every state or every major city that we went to.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
okay, that's a part of this I hadn't known about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So we were homeschooling. He's not now. That's coming in another episode, by the way, because we're not homeschooling anymore.
Right.
I'll tell that story later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're doing really good homeschooling on the road too. Like, hey, learn about this place and then be able to talk about it.
And it was fun for me because it was a refresher for me. And as a teacher, as a homeschool teacher, you kind of have to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it was fun. So but this time it was summer and we went to skate parks. Every one that we could hit on the way up, even in Kalispell and Whitefish.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, but
So what about some of the people you saw? Like who did you make a point to go and see on the way there?
Goodness, so many people. So first one was in Las Vegas. I went to see Chris Moore, and we were buddies in aviation officer candidate school, and he happened to be from Orange County. And we didn't really get to, when you're in AOCS, you're busy getting yelled at by a big drill instructor.
Yeah.
And you're doing push-ups and rolling through the sand, becoming a sugar cookie while you're sweaty. But we didn't get a chance to talk much then, but we became better friends in flight school, even though we were in AOCS together. And he was Navy with me, but then he ended up crossing over to the Marine Corps and ended up flying F-18s. And he retired as a colonel in the Marine Corps. Yeah, he did really well. He's still doing really well. I'm really proud of that guy. But yeah, we went to see him in Vegas. Then from there, we went to Zion National Park and did a hike. It's beautiful. Have you ever been to Zion?
Zion's. I went when I was in adolescence, like I was a teenager. We used to go camping a lot and take our trailer out. So we go to Grand Canyon, go to Zion. I mean, Zion is beautiful.
It's pretty.
It's way different. Like most things, the picture can say one thing, but like standing there and looking at it is completely different.
Yeah, and then when the rocks and the mountains are just you feel like a little dot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It does remind you how small you are.
I already am, but even smaller.
Yeah, that wasn't really intended that way, but I get where you're coming from. No, Zion's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you got to hike there.
Yep. And then from Zion, we went to Salt Lake City, and so this is where the connection back to Hawaii. I went to high school in Hawaii.
Right.
In Salt Lake City, I went to see Kayla, she's the daughter of a good friend of mine, Lailani and Mark. Lailani, I went to high school with her at Radford High School, right by Pearl Harbor. And she was kind of like everybody's little sister. Now she's typical Filipino mom. She's like our mom, even though we're all the same age.
Right.
I love her. She's great. And her husband, Mark, great people. And so I visited with Kayla. She was working as a athletic trainer for what's the name of University of Utah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So she was working there at the time, and then from there in Salt Lake City, we went over to Brigham City. Another Radford High School classmate of mine. His name is also Radford. Ratty.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Ratty Kalekini.
His name's Radford.
Yep.
And went to Radford. That's
yep.
That's a pretty unique name to begin with, and then have that together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to see Ratty in Brigham City, and Ratty was like, before I started 9th grade, there was a park right by my apartment, and Ratty lived in the neighborhood called Aliamanu, and we would all meet up in the park to play basketball. Then we ended up going to high school together, and Ratty, he's Hawaiian, and he was kind of like, he was big for one, and nobody messed with Ratty, and I never took advantage of the relationship, but if you knew Ratty, then nobody messed with you. But Ratty was the nicest guy anyway. I don't ever think he ever got in a fight. Like
protection by proximity. Like you're known by this guy. All right, cool. You're safe. You're good.
And so Ratty, lovely fella. He even in adulthood, he's such a great guy. Always very loving. Always, he embodies the full spirit of aloha. Even if he lives in Utah, and location doesn't matter. But yeah, he has always been the nicest guy. He's always been my literally big brother because he's kind of a big guy.
Yeah.
So stopped off to see him from seeing Ratty. Who else did we see? Went to Salt Lake City, Idaho Falls. Oh, the skate parks. I have some footage of the skate parks too. So my son is a better skater than I am. You'll see it. He's just a natural. He takes to it. I don't think he's afraid of falling, whereas I am. Here I am. And there's some footage of me skating. I look like I might as well be using a walker while I skate. But it was fun. So we went through all those skate parks, and then we ended up in Butte for the last skate park, then on to Kalispell and Whitefish, where I saw Jeff Judy, another Navy buddy of mine. And we flew the same aircraft, H-46s, but he flew it in a sister squadron while we were on active duty. And then when we became reservists, he flew in my squadron briefly when we flew H-3s.
Oh, cool.
He left early. He had enough of it. He had already been working as in his civilian job as Border Patrol, and he moved up to Montana also. So
wow.
He had already been there for a while. And so I saw Jeff, and after he had retired from that, he became a chef. He went to culinary school, and you'll see the footage also. We became the guest host. I did, and my son was the guest chef. He had a food cart. It was a gourmet food cart at the airport.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And he was serving like Wagyu burgers.
What?
And elk dogs.
Oh God, that sounds
I forget what else.
That sounds
was on the
awesome.
menu. Yeah, you'll see it.
That sounds so good.
And so I was the sales guy. Typical, right? Real estate guy. So he made me, the cashier and the sales guy, and Raphael was the guest cook.
Oh wow, that's super cool.
It was fun.
That's a fun, unique, and memorable experience.
Yeah, I think I had more fun than Raphael did, but he had never.
I'm sure someday he'll look back at it fondly.
I'm sure he will too. Like I said, it was fun. We did other things with Jeff. We went to he also was raised in Northern California. He is a well-accomplished horse trainer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we went to a horse jumping competition while we were there with him too. That was pretty neat. Montana is an awesome place.
Yeah.
And the scenery, you'll see, again, I keep referring to these videos, but you'll see them. Where we went for the horse jumping competition was, I probably wouldn't have appreciated this if I was at the age when I was going to the wedge. But now, oh my goodness, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty state. I haven't seen it when it's snowing. Might be a different story.
Most likely a different story. I haven't gone when it's snowing, but it's called Big Sky Country for a reason.
That's right.
And is it Big Sky? It's not just Big Sky. It's Big Sky Country, isn't it? I think that's that's like the nickname.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know if that's, what is that? The state. It's the motto.
It's the motto, I think. But I'm saying, I'm admitting, I think I know there's the Big Sky part. I don't know if it's Big Sky Country.
It's Big Sky Country.
It is Big Sky Country.
I believe so,
yeah. Yeah. It's that way for a reason.
Yeah.
It's the most sky you're going to see in your peripheral vision.
Yeah. That's right. So, spending time with Jeff, we did go to more skate parks in town there, and then we went to a skate shop, like a skateboard shop and clothing shop. Ironically, the guy that owned the shop, I think it was called Spirit Skate Shop in Kalispell. Shout out to that guy. I forgot his name. I wish I could remember. But in talking to the guy, I told him, we just came up from San Diego, but I used to live in Orange County. And he goes, oh, really? And he goes, I did too. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. And so this is where the world becomes smaller after I met this guy. He says, I used to live in Newport Beach. And in fact, I used to body surf at a place called The Wedge. He's telling me this. And I knew a guy there named Terry Wade. Terry Wade's one of my heroes because he is one of the best big wave body surfers I've ever met, personally known. He's the guy that sat outside in the red Speedos and just waited for the bomb bomb. And we're talking 25, 30 feet.
That's insane.
Body surfing. Body surfing.
That is insane. That takes a different breed of dude.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, he's kind of like your build, your height. You know, he's athletically built.
Jeez.
But the things that guy did, and, you know, I did okay, but not like that. You know, we would all watch him ride 25-footers.
That's gnarly, dude. That's huge.
Yeah. So he bought this owner of the skate shop bought Terry's drum set.
What?
And he played in a punk band, and he pulled out his album, and he showed me the picture on the album.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So Terry was a drummer as well.
You know, I half expected you to say that, you know, one time when I lived there, I was in a tanning tournament. No. I remember you. You're Marvin.
No.
Didn't you win most exotic?
No.
No, what was the category? Not most exotic.
Most tropical.
Most tropical. Sorry, yeah. That's completely different things.
Yeah.
No, so skate shop owner was a cool dude, and I happened to have some common ground with him.
Yep, small world. Really small world. So then after all that running around, we finally delivered the truck to Robert O.
Mm-hmm.
And it was exactly what he expected. Of course, he saw it all on video and pictures, and we had talked dozens of times before I actually drove it up there.
Mm-hmm.
So. But yeah, mission accomplished.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So how many days was this trip kind of end to end?
I think it was about 8. Because most of the time was 8 or 9. Most of the time was getting up there.
Yeah.
Going north.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we probably spent 3 of the 8 there in Kalispell and Whitefish. We ended up going up to the top of Whitefish Mountain, and then came down on the Alpine Slide. You ever done that?
No, I haven't been able to do that.
Fun.
No.
That's fun. Yeah. So in fact, that's when one more person, David Donaldson. Dave was one of the original founders and volunteers at the Balboa Naval Hospital Surf Therapy Clinic.
Oh, really?
The one that I volunteered at.
Yeah.
I volunteered there since, 2012. He was before 2012.
Oh, wow.
Never met the guy in person until I got up to Montana.
Wow, that's crazy. Again, like not even at the place that you're connected by.
Correct. And so,
crazy.
He found me through social media, and we knew all the same people. It's just,
of course.
I didn't know him when he was in California.
Oh, that's so crazy.
He was a hospital corpsman in the Navy.
Yeah.
And a accomplished waterman. Now, he's also just a all-around great athlete. He's a skier as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's the one that he says, hey, let's go up and I'll get you down on the Alpine Slide.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, even better.
I want to do that. I really do.
It's fun. And they have them down here, but but coming down Whitefish Mountain.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's fine that they have them here. I'm talking about in a scenic location where you're like, I'm really doing this. That's what my mind is telling me I want.
Yeah, and I would do it again, even on a mountain bike. I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah,
yeah. So here's one more. It just so happened that Robert O. built a house in the same development as Dave, so they're neighbors.
Wait, what?
And now they hang out. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They hang out. Yeah, I think they're about half mile apart because all the plots are like at least 3 acres.
That's like 3 random circles that become like this kind of semi-touching Venn diagram that then eventually like all are overlapping in this massive space. That's crazy.
It's the best part because
that's awesome.
This has happened more than once where I've introduced people or they already knew each other and I didn't know they knew each other.
Well, yeah, that's like a recurring thing. It's like you knew this guy over here, and then you meet this guy over here, and then they end up knowing each other.
Yep.
Or they know you and go, wait a minute, you guys both know Marvin too? It's like this triangulation every time.
Right. Somebody that goes to your church knows you.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
That I surf with.
I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm a loud drummer. I'm the one they point at and go, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
Good. Yeah. So, yeah, all in all, it was a great trip. We kind of ended with the Alpine Slide coming down. And then I think within a day, the next day, we were flying home back to San Diego.
So does Rob still have that truck to this day?
He does.
He does. Okay.
He does. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's probably. I think he put some bigger tires on it. I don't think he put a lift kit on it. It didn't really need it, but he's made some modifications to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a Toyota guy. He actually has, what is that? He has a Land Cruiser as well, a vintage
Oh,
one.
those are awesome. Oh man,
He has
those
a-
will go forever.
Yeah. So he's a diehard Toyota guy.
Yeah, no, I'm in the Toyota crew myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Toyotas.
Yeah.
I have one. I've had 1, 2, 3. We're on our third. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't made that leap just yet, but you never know. I mean, there's always another vehicle out there.
Yeah, well, especially with you better not leave you alone for too long. You're going to be off tomorrow, like finding another one, and the next day, and the next day.
It could happen. The day's not over.
Yeah. So tell me, before we close up, what is it that's so special to you about being asked to do this for someone so close to you?
Oh man, I would do all of this for free in either direction for myself or anyone else, because again, if you look at the tripod of the reason why I do these things, the three legs are people, places, and vehicles. That's what gets me going. It keeps me engaged in life.
Yeah.
It helps me to live my best life.
Mm-hmm.
The people part obviously comes first. The locations, of course, I get to see something new.
Yeah.
And the vehicles, I'm just an old gearhead. And in future episodes, in fact, we were talking about that before we started.
Yeah.
The history of why is coming.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for more. Yeah. With the road trip flip himself.
Yeah. And of course, there's going to be more surfing. That's another thing, but that's kind of like not really part of the program, but it's the first thing.
Part of you.
Oh yeah.
Which is part of the program. So.
Yeah, and that's the first thing I do when I come home from all my trips.
Yeah. Is that what you done this one too? You come home and you went surfing?
Oh,
You right away. Right away.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, because in some of your other stories, when you're like cruising back down south through the coastline, you're stopping at places and you're intentionally surfing when you're making your road trip around where you can go surf. In this case, like there's no surfing spots, so that's why I kind of asked the question. I'm like, I bet you went surfing right away, didn't you?
Oh yeah. That's the first thing I do.
All right, 1 foot off the plane, grab my surfboard, left from San Diego Airport right to the water.
Yep.
Something like that, huh?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Marvin, thank you once again for bringing another awesome road trip flip story to me. I love hearing these stories. Of course, I love doing this project with you. And I always know that whatever you like line up next is going to be super epic and cool. So it always keeps me on my toes. Like there's the uniqueness to it. There's also the things that are consistent with it. And I always look forward to having you. And so thanks for being here and joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Andy, and always a pleasure for me. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more content. And send an email, my email address, or just leave a comment. That's probably easier. And one big favor, please tell your family and friends about the flip. So until next time, see you on the flip side.